In honor of Simba Mhere, the top-billing presenter who was killed in a car crash last Saturday morning. This whole week saw tributes pouring in from friends and family and the industry, expressing their shock to this incredible human being who was at the brink of his career. Well, joining us in studio now is his co-presenters of the popular lifestyle show Top Billing, Ursula, Chikane and Lorna Maseko. It's good to have both of you. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you, Lee.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. I mean, it's never easy speaking about a colleague that you love.
In the past tense.
It's not
feels
fair,
surreal because everyone, I mean, we were doing a tribute for Top Billing and we were having to talk about what Simba was like, and it was like, is this for real? Like when you just seen somebody a couple of weeks ago and then now you're talking about what they were like. It's just, it's so surreal.
It is.
It doesn't make any kind of sense because I think out of the lot of us, and we're quite a lively bunch, I think Simba was the liveliest, the one that really took life by the horns the most. He was the largest than life character amongst us.
Yeah, he was an incredible human being, and I've never heard people speak so highly of an individual. There hasn't been, and I know we get sort of all emotional when somebody passes on, but it's genuine. He was a great guy. What was your experience with him, Lorna?
I think Simba was just a guy who saw life as an opportunity. He was always so positive. You know, I feel like sometimes people may think that we're just trying to buy face and we're, you know, just being nice. Simba was genuinely such a nice guy, and you know, it's just anyway, it just feels so surreal. But I remember phone calls that we'd have for hours on the phone talking about work and how challenging work was and how we were struggling with this and that and another thing, and he would listen to you. Like he would, I mean, I'm a girl, so I'd be on the phone for hours and he would just listen and listen and listen and not even say a word. He'd be like, yeah, Lawrence, that's true, hey? That's true. So it's,
Ursula, for you, I mean, obviously, let's not kid, he was 26 years old, he was young, he must have looked up to you.
He only just turned 26 at the end of October, which is ridiculous. And I remember so vividly when Simba was still in the presenter search competition, he was just this big, amazing Labrador type guy. And that enthusiasm that he had for the show back then is the same enthusiasm he had now. And Leanne, a lot of people have said, you know, oh, you must have mentored him so well, this, that, and the next thing. But honestly, it was all Simba. What you saw on screen was exactly what you got off. And he was never without that amazing, amazing smile.
Yeah, that big smile. It is a big smile. It was a big cuddly bear. I think that's the way of putting it. As upset as you are, because that is, I mean, he's your co-presenter, he's your friend, he's, you know, everything that we've heard. But what about his family? How are they taking this?
I think his dad is probably one of the strongest people that I've ever come across. Just to be able to kind of, I don't think it's sunk in for them. I think they're still a bit like dazed by it. I think perhaps after the funeral on Saturday, it'll really just sink in that their son is gone. And I've just been surprised at, I mean, his dad, what he said when we were at his family's home on Saturday, just about what Simba has done for them and how he never thought that Simba had so much support.
And his dad was in the car.
His dad was in the car with him.
And he's fine. He's fine.
His dad, just when we got there on Saturday, had a plaster from the hospital, and that was the extent of the physical injuries. Of course, the emotional injuries will be with him forever. Simba, his sister Valerie, on whom he absolutely doted. I think that she'll be the one person that will be taking it the hardest. So
he's got one sister, is that correct?
He's got one sister.
How old is she?
Valerie, I think she's 24.
She's 24 years old.
Yeah.
It's so hard. We're talking about it still is not sinking in. It really
I don't think you're hoping to see him on Top Billing next week, Thursday.
Yeah, tonight, never mind.
Tonight's going to be
very emotional.
Are you doing a big tribute to him tonight? I mean, last week there was almost like a tribute. I haven't watched Top Billing in a while, obviously with kids and my schedule. It's very difficult. But I mean, I actually sat and I watched Top Billing last week, and I really enjoyed watching his journey and Jonathan's journey. And then when I woke up on Saturday morning, I was like, this is impossible.
How weird.
It was almost, how is Jonathan? I know they were great friends, so
I had a coffee with Jono yesterday, and we're trying to support him as much as possible. But there's only so much that you can do. We'd love to lift the burden of heartache from him, but we can't.
No.
And he is, I'll tell you, Leanne,
Devastated,
Jonathan
beyond
is
broken.
a shattered man.
Yeah. No, I can imagine. I really can imagine. It's something that you can never get your mind around.
No.
But unfortunately, I mean, I remember a lot of people talking about this, and they say, when you are born, your date is written down, but the date that you're going to die is also written down, but it's written up there, and there's nothing you can do to change that.
I think that's the biggest shock, because if you think about the way the accident happened, and the car he was driving wasn't even driving his own car, and you think if he was driving his own car, then the impact wouldn't have been so bad, and you think about all these things, and he was supposed to be in Cape Town the day before, and his flights were messed up, and it's life. It's the way it is. I'd like to spend a minute talking about the young girl that was in the car with him as well.
Katie Shea.
Yes. She has a daughter.
Yeah, she does.
I read the most beautiful tribute to her. I've read a couple of tributes to her. And I know we're remembering Simba, but I think we also need to remember her, because this is a big loss as well.
I think South Africans have just got such generous hearts, because after the news spread about Simba and that Katie Shea had also died in the car crash with him, South Africans who had never met her, never even knew her name or their very special relationship, just opened their hearts, and a whole new wave of heartache and sympathy was being extended. And she was an incredible young woman.
Yeah.
Their friendship was on a different level altogether. I think it was friendship plus.
Yeah. Oh, really?
No,
Your
not
starting
that way.
room?
Not that way. It was such an intimate, and
they were very close.
They were just really good friends. There was a special bond.
Yeah.
All right, so today, Memorial, 3 o'clock until 5 o'clock at Rema.
Correct.
And then Saturday, the same venue, the time 9 to 11, is that
9
yes?
until 11 will be the funeral service,
West
and
Park
then we make
Cemetery.
our way to West Park Cemetery.
All right. Be strong. Thank you for coming in and talking to us. Please send our love from all of us here at Morning Live in the SABC. It's just not it's not a nice thing to talk about. Lorna, Maseko and Ursula Chikane, presenters from Top Billing, colleagues of the late Simba Mhere, who of course will be laid to rest on Saturday, but remembered today.